It should be against the law to mock someone who tries his luck in a foreign language. One morning, when I accidentally left the metro at a blue station exactly like hers, with a name similar to that of the station near her place, I called from a phone booth and said, "There I am arriving almost." I instantly suspected I'd made a blunder because my teacher asked me to repeat the sentence. There I am arriving almost. There was probably something wrong with the word almost. But instead of pointing out my mistake, she made me repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, then broke into a cackle that made me slam the phone down. When she saw me at her door, she had a new fit of the giggles, and the more she tried to contain them, the more her whole body shook with laughter. She finally said she had understood that I would arrive little by little, first by nose, then an ear, then an ear. And the joke wasn't even that funny. Proof of this was that Kriska grew a little sad and, not knowing how to apologize, ran her fingertips across my quivering lips. I can now say, however, that I speak Hungarian perfectly, or almost. Muttering to myself in the evenings, I'm deeply unsettled by the suspicion of the faintest of accents here and there. At the venues I frequent, where I speak publicly on topics of national importance, I employ rare verbs and correct highly educated people. A sudden misplaced accent would be disastrous. I have only Kriska to confirm or deny my niggling suspicions, although she's not very trustworthy, to keep me wrapped around her little finger where perhaps she wants me. She will always hold something back. Even so, from time to time, I ask her in secret, have I lost my accent? Perverse, she replies, little by little, first a roll, then an ear, and she kills herself laughing, then regrets it, rubs the back of my neck, and so on. I wound up in Budapest due to an unscheduled landing on a flight from Istanbul to Frankfurt with a connection to Rio. The airline put us up at the airport hotel and only informed us the following morning that the technical problem responsible for our landing had in fact been an anonymous bomb threat. Glancing casually at the 12 o'clock news, however, I had already become intrigued when I recognized the German plane parked on the runway of the local airport. I turned up the volume, but it was in Hungarian, rumored to be the only tongue in the world that the devil respects. I switched off the TV. It was 7 o'clock at night in Rio. Good time to call home. I got the answering machine, didn't leave a message. Nor would it make sense to say, hi honey, it's me. I'm in Budapest. There's been a hitch with the plane. Bye. I should have been tired, but I wasn't, so I filled the bath, sprinkled some bath salts into the warm water, and amused myself piling up bubbles. That's what I was doing when zil, the doorbell, rang. I still remembered that doorbell in Turkish was zil. Wrapped in a towel, I opened the door and found an old man in a hotel uniform holding a disposable razor. He'd got the wrong door and let out a guttural like that of a deaf mute when he saw me. I returned to my bath, and it struck me as odd that a luxury hotel should employ a deaf mute as an errand boy. But the zil stuck in my head. It's a good word, zil. Much better than doorbell. I was soon to forget it, as I would forget the haikus memorized in Japan, the Arabic proverbs, and the Ocho Giorni I sang in Russian. I pick up a little treasure in every country, a fleeting souvenir. I have this child's ear that latches on to an esco of languages easily. If I set my mind to it, I could learn Greek, Korean, even Basque. But I had never dreamed of learning Hungarian. It was after 1 when I went to bed late, turned the TV back on, and found the same woman I had seen at midnight, a heavily made-up blonde presenting a rerun of the news. I knew it was a rerun because I had already noticed the broad-faced peasant woman staring at the camera with the bulging eyes, grasping a cabbage the size of her head. She waggled her head and the cabbage up and down at the same time and talked non-stop at the reporter. She dug her fingers into the cabbage and cried and wailed, and her face grew redder and puffier, and she buried all 10 fingers in the cabbage, and by now my shoulders had tensed, not because of what I saw, but from the strain of trying to catch at least one word. Word. without the slightest notion of the appearance, the structure, the actual body of the words, I had no way of knowing where each one began or finished. It was impossible to detach one from the next. It would be like trying to cut a river with a knife. To my ears, Hungarian could in fact have been a seamless language, not composed of words, which only revealed itself in its entirety. And the plane reappeared on the runway in an image that was distant, dark, and static, further emphasizing the male voiceover. By now, I couldn't have cared less about the plane's story. The mystery of the plane was overshadowed by the mystery of the language in which the story was presented. There I was, listening to a series of amalgamated sounds, when I suddenly detected the clandestine word, Lufthansa. Yes, Lufthansa. The newsreader had most central let it slip, the German word infiltrating the wall of Hungarian words, the opening that would allow me to unravel the entire vocabulary. The news was followed by a round table whose participants appeared to be having a misunderstanding. Then a documentary about the bottom of the ocean with transparent fish. And at 2 on the dot, my made-up friend was back, looking older by the hour. Weather, parliament, stock market, students in the streets, shopping center, woman with cabbage, my plane, and I was already trying to reproduce a few phonemes after Lufthansa. Then a girl with a red shawl and black band came on, threatening to speak Spanish, and I jumped channels with a start. I got the channel in English, then another and another, a German channel, one in Italian, then back to the interview with a flamenco dancer. I muted the sound, concentrated on the subtitles, and seeing Hungarian words in letters for the first time, I felt as though I was looking at their skeletons. Ő az állam előtti talajon táncol.